Hello, hello. Welcome to Your Home by Design, the podcast where we talk all about our homes and how they affect our health and well-being. Some episodes we delve deep into the research and some we just chat. I'm Nico, an interior designer and researcher passionate about bringing forward the findings so that you can improve your lifestyle and well-being. Grateful to have you. Let's do this. Hello, welcome to this week's episode. This week, we're chatting about creating and seeking out elements of surprise and awe in your home. And you might be wondering, why? And what does this have to do with my home? Well, you'll find out just how important and beneficial experiencing this can be. I wanted to talk about this today because, well, I think we can all get so busy in our day-to-day lives, and often we really only get to experience awe and surprise when we're outside of the home. Often on holidays we experience this, like staring out at the vast ocean of blue. And even though this is a good thing, you also have the opportunity to use your home as a tool for your well-being and experience the benefits of awe without taking a trip. You can experience awe in the comfort of your own home. So today I'll share why this is important, and at the end of the episode, I'll share some things you can do in your home to incorporate and experience awe and surprise. So did you know when we experience the unexpected, good things happen? The element of surprise, being caught up and experiencing awe. It's an amazing thing, really, that when we delight in our surroundings and seek this out, it benefits us. And what it comes down to is finding the things that you might normally overlook and then being intentional about really enjoying them and being intentional about ways to create these experiences. So awe is often thought of as seeing something like a mountain range or being swept away with seeing a vast, large ocean. But awe can also be anything, really, that happens outside of your usual, something that causes you to stop, take something in, be grateful, be mindful, and shrink for a minute to realize that we are much smaller than what we think. And this, the thing that has caught us by surprise, that has taken our breath away, makes us see things a little differently for the time that we allow. Awe can ignite creativity, it can pique curiosity, it can even motivate us to pursue goals. And how amazing is that? That if we experience something and are intentional about experiencing this regularly, that it can have these benefits. There's one study that suggests that the more you experience awe, you may have more positive emotions, a reduction in chronic inflammation. There have also been studies that show a reduction in stress and an increase in social well-being. It might also give you a sense of having more time and improving the immune system. You may also be more empathetic, kind, and generous towards people, just from experiencing something that causes you to have gratitude, to appreciate it, to be swept away. I love sunlight when it hits a wall or a floor, when it creates a shadow. I love watching as the sunlight moves throughout the day or the intensity of that saturation on the wall changes. It's such a beautiful moment, and it really does cause me to stop and simply take it in. In fact, oftentimes I'll just sit there and I'm like, wow, usually it's, the sunshine, it makes everybody feel happy, but especially when it's casting a light in your home, it just seems to warm you up and just allows you to pause and feel present. I feel the same when I'm looking at certain art or even listening to really good music with layers and depth. I think we all experience awe uniquely. What might elicit awe in me may be different for you. And I'm sure we can all appreciate a beautiful sunset or sunrise. Who can deny getting lost in the awe of that? But when it comes down to our homes, it's not something most of us really think about. People don't really think, oh, I should set this room up to listen to music, and then I should be intentional in listening to the music that makes me feel awe. Or I love how this color of flowers picks up the wall color behind, and allow yourself to get lost in that for a moment. Art can do this too. if you create it or look at it. Art can not only elicit awe, but it can change the neuroplasticity in your brain, which I'll touch on in another episode. But, I'm sure you have moments in your home when you experience awe, but do you recognize that that's what's happening? And do you pay attention to how often this is happening and even make a point in experiencing this? Needless to say, making a point in experiencing awe at home is something we all need to work on. Because if we can get out in nature and experience awe, that's amazing. But we can also use our aesthetic environment, the one we spend most of our time in, as a tool to experience this as well. Our homes can be a tool for our well-being, and I want you to see that. So if you're wondering how to do this, maybe you're somebody who doesn't really get caught up in the sunlight casting on your wall like I do, then it's time to dig deep. What would do it for you? What do you find captivating, or where could you start intentionally looking for ways to experience this? What's an everyday activity that you enjoy that you could take a bit deeper? So when you're walking around your home, is there anything that catches your attention? Is there something there that stands out to you? If you pay attention to your aesthetic experience, let's say you just updated something or you have incorporated a new design element, even something as simple as a new arrangement of objects, or the way you dim your lights down at night and they cast a beautiful glow in the room. Are there details in the room that really pique your interest? Chances are there is something that can cause that reaction, that feeling of awe, when you start looking for it. So when we talk about creating elements of surprise in your home, what it comes down to is how you can make your space captivating and where you can introduce the unexpected, those little elements of surprise that, they captivate you in a way where you experience awe. That's where you get those health benefits, those health boosts. So not only is the unexpected just good design, for the overall enjoyment of your home and the love of your home, but it's also good for you when you experience awe as a result. And a little piece of information I just want to share, kind of just from an interior designer's perspective. Interior designers are always trying to sort of level up. They want to create spaces that they haven't done before because, no two clients are the same, so no two spaces should be the same. Even if a designer has a look, room-to-room comparison would be different. And we always want to create amazing rooms using products or art or color combinations or furniture styles that push us professionally a bit, that challenges us to create the ultimate space for the client that goes beyond their expectations. Because when you create something for someone that is unexpected, that's often where the focus goes. That's where the change in lifestyle can occur. It can be the most talked about element in the room or the one that is appreciated the most. It can really drive the design and all the choices and really start the story and then emphasize the story. So why is it really important for you to create that unexpected in your home with design? To experience that awe. It really, really is what sets your home apart from a design perspective. Often that unexpected element in the room is what causes the biggest reaction in you. It can cause you to feel that awe. But even though you can create awe using obvious design elements like oversized art and interesting details that make you stop and appreciate the colors and textures and styles and light, the overall atmosphere, it can also be done in subtle ways that speak to you, that move you personally. And I think that's what sets good design apart, that uses tools to boost your well-being, is when it impacts you and it can go deeper on a personal level. It doesn't just have to be large and big and something that makes you stop in your tracks and notice it. It can be subtle, but that's where it has to be personal to you. What's going to generate that feeling and inspire those emotions in you? And creating the unexpected can be done in so many ways. And I want to share those ways in a minute. But before I do, I want you to remember that experiencing awe from the unexpected can be so easy. So I know I just talked about a lot of interior design elements and the ways that interior designers try to do this in interiors, but I also just want to share the subtleties of life and how you move through your home and the ways that you experience your home, even just as it is today. Because I know the goal for you is probably to make your home as beautiful and attractive and appealing to you as possible. A home that functions well for you in your life, that you feel in control of. But it doesn't have to be done with big design decisions. So the other day, I bought a bouquet of flowers, and the flowers were this lovely magenta color. And I put them in my vase and placed it on a piece of furniture in my living room. And throughout the day, as the light changed, there were a few times where I just stopped and looked at it. I just took it in, and I recognized how this fresh plant, these fresh flowers and the colors were impacting the atmosphere in the room, the way that they changed throughout the day, the way that they just brought my space to life. And as the light changed, there were a few times where I just stopped and looked and I took it in, and I was being intentional about lingering there a little bit longer, just standing there sort of staring at these flowers and really being intentional about, okay, these colors are beautiful. The way it's impacting the atmosphere is amazing. Oh, look at how the light is coming in through the window and brightening these flowers. And, that may sound sort of silly, but it's about saying, I know that this is benefiting me. I know that these feelings that I'm experiencing are really good for me. So let's linger here a little bit longer and let's really seek out even more details. And, look at how this petal is doing this versus this petal is doing that. And if I were to paint this, not saying that I can paint, but I thought to myself, if I were to paint this, how would I approach painting these colors and where would I start? So I really tried to get swept away in the moment and just linger there a little bit longer. And so I think that that's an important thing, because when you just sort of glance at something, you say, oh, that looks awesome. If you recognize that, okay, I just appreciated something in my environment. I just had gratitude for this or that. And now I'm going to linger there. I'm going to dive a little deeper here, and I'm just going to give myself a few minutes to pause and breathe it in. If you can do that, that's where your direct environment, your home, all of a sudden becomes that tool that I talked about. So, how can we do this in your home? So when you experience awe, let it last. Like I said, take it in, let it linger. Take it in longer than what you want. You might be tempted to just sort of continue and like I said, you looked at it, that looks amazing, and then you move on. But stop. Recognize that feeling. Just stop and take it in. The next thing is just to look for opportunities to experiencing it. Like what I just mentioned about the flowers, looking for new ways, just going up to a plant in your house and looking for new buds. I know that this can sound silly, but really it's about finding those intricacies. Even if you're somebody that enjoys cooking, or even just if you enjoy eating, plating your dinner in a really nice way, making it look special, and as you're plating it, really be thinking about how you're arranging it on the plate, what it looks like, making the table feel extra special that night, and then taking time as you enjoy your dinner. If you're doing this with family or with friends, take in the moment, stop and pause, look around, breathe in the moment, appreciate what you're looking at, and another thing is to take a tech break. Seriously, it's really important to put your phone down, to move any tech into a different room, turn the TV off, close your laptop, put away your iPad, whatever it is. This is something that I'm pretty passionate about. I do really feel that this is important to be intentional, because when you put that tech away, it really has a positive impact on your ability to pay attention, to be in the moment, to be present. And you can only do that when you take a break from this, from our digital world that we're always connected to. So if you put the tech away, it's not going to happen right away. That's the other thing, is it's something that sort of you have to put it away and then allow yourself a bit of time to become present and not feel distracted or feel that pull to get back into the digital world. The other thing is to enjoy your art. If you don't have any art that you love, consider making some and getting lost in the awe of creativity. And if you do have art or even a photograph of a special moment or an amazing trip you took, whatever it is, make sure you have it in the right spot in your home. If it's a photograph, you can think about having it enlarged and putting it in an awesome frame on a focal wall and utilizing focal points. So make sure it's visible when you want to gaze at it, that you can see it from a place that you're comfortable either sitting in or standing and looking. So it's about really recognizing that you have art or photography or whatever it is, putting it on a focal point and then thinking about where that is so that you can enjoy it properly. If you put it somewhere where you're not going to see it, then that defeats the purpose. The next thing is just try relaxing in your home. Try just lying down in your favorite spot, incorporating scent while you do it. If you have an essential oil diffuser or something that creates an aroma that you love, and just enjoy the moment. And even while you're resting and you're in that place, just think about a time when you experienced awe. Take yourself back to an event or a moment that just stopped you in your tracks. The next thing is to experience your home. Just wander around your home and look at the things that you have, and then stop and appreciate them. Think about what objects you have that carry a story. Look at the object, even hold it, and think about the story that was associated with it. Think about how this or that came into your home or who gave it to you. We fill our homes with so many things, and often, once they're in the home after some time, we kind of forget about them. They become a bit of, a distant memory. But if we're intentional about everything, you think about everything in your home. Look around your room right now. What's in front of you? Every single thing in your home, you have chose to be there. You've carried it in with your hands. You've had somebody move it for you or place it for you. You've made a conscious choice with everything that's in your home, every movable thing. Or if you've done a renovation, every single thing in your home has been a deliberate choice. So think about it. Take the opportunity to reconnect with the things that you've brought into your space and understand that everything that you have could carry a story. But look for those objects that elicit the feelings of awe. Right now, I'm actually looking at some little stones that I have. Well, I can't remember what it's called when you stack stones up and it becomes like a statue. But that's sort of what I have in front of me. And these 3 stones were stones that came from my stepmom's garden. She passed away several years ago, and I have these stones because they remind me of her. She loved to collect rocks, interesting rocks. So I have these in front of me right now. And if I look at them and I think about the places that she loved. And some of the places that she collected these rocks were also places that we went together and places that I love, that me and my husband go to and we take our kids to. And one is this beautiful waterfall. It's amazing. It's out in nature. You have to walk down a path. And once you get there, you can just sit and you can feel the mist of the waterfalls. So that's an example of something that I have in my home that I can see right now. Look around your home. What is it for you that can take you back? That can give you that feeling of awe and appreciation and gratitude? Find those intricacies within your home, with the design of your home, and stop and appreciate them. Let them sink in. Make that moment last. There are so many ways to experience awe in our everyday lives, but it really is about slowing down and being intentional in feeling it and seeking it out. And when you're experiencing it, just let it sink in and let it wash over you. Relax, breathe, and know that just by this simple exercise, you can improve your health and your well-being. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'm going to leave you with a quote, which, by the way, I think might be one of my top favorites now. It's a quote by W.B. Yeats. And it says, "The world is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." Thank you for listening. See you next time. Thanks so much for listening today. If you found this episode helpful, the best way to support the show is to follow along and share it with someone who'd love it too. And if you'd like to go a step further, you can become one of our Better Living backers. It's a small monthly contribution that helps keep the show going. And as a thank you, I'll send you a personal note along with a 15% discount for the Create Space course when it launches. You can find the support the show link right in the show notes. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for creating space with me.